White House clearly succeeded in a massive cover-up of the degree of the president's feebleness and his serious physical decline. Shame on the White House press corps for not having pierced the veil of secrecy surrounding the president. Yes, that's true. The president's decline was a hard story to report, even by those who wanted to get it, like the Wall Street Journal, and their story did not deliver because they used mostly named GOP sources. If enough journalists had pushed, the story was reportable. But there is no excuse for abandoning our first duty, which is to report the truth. It is astonishing for the entire country, including its most seasoned reporters, to be as shocked as everyone by the ugly and painful reality of Biden's debate performance. And it is laughable and immoral for Democrats to blame the press now for overreacting to that reality. The reports of how bad Biden was. But I think this was about the wisest thing that I've heard, at least today. A very wise man here.
One of the least attractive traits is helplessness. I find it very unattractive, and it seems to be dominating majority opinion in American politics right now. That it's just inevitable that Joe Biden will become the nominee of the Democratic Party for President of the United States. And Joe Biden is manifestly unfit to be President of the United States. The other thing that kills me about the majority pundit reaction is that Joe Biden is perfectly capable of operating as President of the United States. So Joe Biden apparently has a hard time getting going before 10 a.m. and he has a hard time operating after 4 p.m. So he has about 6 hours a day where he can do work. And this is acceptable for the President of the United States. If we get into a nuclear crisis, only the President of the United States can make the call whether or not we launch nuclear weapons. So what you hear from the Biden team is that he has a highly competent staff, and when you're voting for Joe Biden, you're also voting for his highly competent staff. But this is the same side who's been making the argument for the past 5 years that democracy is on the ballot and that voting for Joe Biden is a vote for democracy. But people didn't vote. Clearly, he's not been up to the office of President of the United States since he took office, right? He was saved from having to campaign by COVID. Like a frail old man who had that vacant, checked-out stare back in 2018. And now the cognitive decline has apparently become particularly precipitous over the past few months in 2024. And then here's another element of the learned helplessness that seems to dominate much of American political discourse among elites right now, and that is, well, by all the rules, all the procedures, by all the precedents, according to the bylaws, Joe Biden is going to become the Democratic nominee for president because the laws say that, because he won the delegates, and if he's determined to run as the Democratic nominee for president, no one can stop him. So this is the legal perspective